All right, welcome to episode number 4 of the Slap the Ass show. We are very excited to have a special guest on the show tonight. We got Six, better known as at ATLE_EN or Atlin on Twitter.
Oh, hold on. ATLian.
ATLian.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's dope.
So Six is an experienced and outspoken swing and options trader who focuses primarily on OTC stocks. Six has successfully entered several OTC plays before they garnered mainstream attention, including GGII, LTNC, and VMNT, just to name a few. Six is just as entertaining as he is a great trader. And with that, Six, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I'm very blessed and humbled to be here.
Yes, thanks for coming on, Six. Really appreciate it.
For sure.
So I guess the first question, Six, would be how did you initially get into trading penny stocks, and why did you pick penny stocks as your trading option?
Well, I mean, I'm 43, and before finding out about FinTwit, maybe last November, I've traded and I've always had a broker, and then figuring out you could take it on yourself was like, wow, this is fucking different. This is cool. I'm in control. And then I found about FinTwit and started really watching some of these guys that are really impressive. Like I have to give a shout out to Ripster. He is probably one of the top fucking traders out there. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And watching what they did. And then what I like to trade is options and swing plays. And there was an adjustment coming and you could see it coming. And I had some puts for March for SPY. And when they started gaining momentum, I was like, this is coming. This correction's happening. And everybody's always said, stay away from OTC. You could lose your money, they'll shut them down. And It was very taboo for big board players. And I was like, I'm not fucking with that. And then I started to see catalysts come up and realized this new rule came out and people needed to become pink current. And then you started seeing companies drop filings. And then all of a sudden the stock would run. And I was like, whoa, you can make 6 times the money on just momentum. And I'm a momentum trader for the most part, swing trader. So it was cool. And it's really the corrections what got me into it, man. I love the OTC now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the exciting thing about the OTC is, as opposed to NASDAQ stocks, like most NASDAQ stocks, I mean, you're getting at it at a pretty high cost per share. Whereas in OTC, you can find these, sub penny runners, 1 cent, 2 cent plays, and you can ride them all the way to, 10 cents and even dollars in some cases. So I think that's kind of how Jimmy and I got into it. But I know Jimmy had a similar experience with options trading, where the risk isn't always worth the reward. And a lot of those options traders with the correction, when all those contracts expired, realized that penny stocks can make the same returns. And I know I started trading more after the March dip in 2020. Jimmy was trading options before that. So Jimmy, I don't know if you want to talk about options a little bit more.
So, well, I mean, in my experience, I feel like Six, you and I kind of are cut from the same cloth here, where I consider myself more of like a swing momentum guy. But I used to love options plays. I remember having some calls, go up over 100%. I have a couple go run 100%, and then others go literally to 0. And my account got blown up, and I was like, all right, like this is not working out for me. I got to switch it up. So then, lo and behold, I stumbled upon the OTC probably around the summertime, like August of 2020. And that's kind of been my focus since, because like what Luke was saying, you have the potential for an insane amount of gains, but I like to think your stock won't go to 0. Some do, some get, delisted, things like that. But I like to think you can catch a little bit before an option where you run it to 0. So my question for you is just kind of, when you come to investing in OTC versus investing in the options, Do you still look at any options plays at all when
Oh,
it comes to big boards?
oh fuck you. The other day I jumped in AMC. I made a call. I have like it's a private room. It's free on Twitter. I got a fucking solid group of people there, and I just do it because I like to help. So like I threw it out there when I see stuff and like AMC, they're screaming short squeeze, and most people don't really. It's not a short squeeze. It's just the volume's there, and everybody's on it all of a sudden. So I'm like, all right, like you said, momentum player. So it was at like 11:40, and it crossed up, and I said $12 calls, quickest expired that day, it was like this week, I think. And they hit 1250. And so, I was in and out. I was like 120% real quick, boom, boom, in and out. So I love my options. I had to cut some last week. I'm not happy about it. It was about a 7K loss. Just because I'm not sure what's going to come back. But that's what I tell a lot of people that ask me one thing, how do you decide to make the money, and you have to cut back sometimes. And I took that capital and put it in GGI, and I mean,
Nice play.
it's like 12 times. I mean, I've made 12 times, what I invest. It's like stupid. Yeah. So I love options. I absolutely love options. I love daily options, like Roku and Spy, Disney or Apple, be Boeing, like those guys that could be this, if you're on the charts and you see the momentum or you see where it's going, and it's literally, and if you play options, it could literally be a 15-second trade, and it's just boom, boom. And that 20 or 40 or sometimes you get that 100 or 1,000% that just keeps going, and you scale out and then you leave the YOLO. That rush to me is like when you catch something at 0.008 and it goes to 10 cents like GGI did. That rush is amazing.
So 6, pivoting off that options question, the reason, or I remember when I first originally met you on Twitter, I think it was because of LTNC in probably mid to late February, right? I remember Jimmy and we were talking about getting an LTNC. We saw Ryan Shadle's Twitter and we're like, this guy's crazy. Like, this is someone that I want to get invested with. I want to see what happens. Jimmy and we got in around 1 cent when we first started buying our shares. And I know you got in really early. Why did you get an LTNC so early? Was it because of Ryan Shadle and his personality and you thought they had something? Or did you see something else with LTNC?
Okay, so and me, I always speak my mind. I'm straightforward. I don't fucking bullshit, and I have to give only Crown King 100% credit for this, because he called it, and he calls a lot of trips, and he calls a lot of really good plays that he's invested in. He likes to see people do well. But the thing that came up to me was COVID, and a lot of people don't want to work because they were getting paid X amount by the government to stay at home. And so that means they're going to need labor force. And I was like, dude, labor smart, because it was labor smart. It wasn't a water. It wasn't anything. It was labor. And I was like, this could really fucking play out. And it was like at 0.0, God, what was it, like 0.006 something or 0.005 something? And I was like, yo, I'm in early here. And sure enough, it started gaining momentum. But then when Ryan got to use Twitter as he got the permission or whatever to use it as his news. And just the way he came across, he's definitely a guy like that I would love to sit down and drink scotch with and play poker with. I was like, this guy is he's cool and he speaks his mind. A lot of people think, he's shady or whatever. I just feel like people don't know how to take people that are straightforward. And I've done my research, my due diligence, and I don't see anything shady about the guy at all. I think he just fucking speaks his mind. And so I jumped on for sure. And the water thing and Joe Pavlik is he's phenomenal, man. So I definitely, and I still have shares. I definitely trimmed, and I tell all my people that I deal with, these I'm not going to drop names or call anybody out, but these guys that tell people, don't, I'm not fucking selling the share. It's going to $1, $5, and $10. Don't sell, hold. You're an idiot. You know, if you're not trimming, or, you know, you're not making money. This is a business. It ran to 8. I sold a good bit, came back down. Pacquiao, which is a huge endorsement for them. I sold again because you always sell the news. It's just, it is what it is, man. You have to play the market. So I'm still holding some, but I think Ryan was definitely, his persona is what drew me to LTNC, man, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that's the main reason why I got into it too. It's because he was a no bullshit guy. You know, he came out, he told it how it was. Jimmy texted me, he's like, "Yo, have you seen this Ryan Shado guy on Twitter?" I think he had like maybe 5,000 followers at the time, and he ended up getting over. I mean, he has over 20,000 followers now, and it also like that LTNC Army. Like there was so much power behind the movement. And then as soon as they dropped that hydrogen water acquisition in February, I mean, I was like, I'm holding this until the product is released. He said he was going to release it on April, release the product on April. It came out. I know there was a major dip at the end of February. It went down to like, I don't know what it was, 2 cents.
It when it hit 4, it dropped back down to almost 1.25, like 1.25 or something. It was stupid, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of people like you, me, Jimmy, we held through that, and you know we ended up reaping the rewards. But I think it's a good point you brought up is you gotta take profits, right? Because at the end of the day, these are speculative penny plays, and I know there was a lot of haters on Joe, the CEO, because he had those other beverage companies that were, you know, everyone called them scams. So I know there's a lot of haters out there on that, but yeah, I think
Dude,
we all end up
everything's
doing well with that.
everything's a fucking scam until it comes to fruition in this life. Bro.
Yeah,
exactly. That's straight up how it is. And yeah, one thing about LTNC, and I think only Crown King was tweeting about this before, but when it was still in trips, one of his big indicators that he was looking at was increased volume. He's like, LTNC is getting a lot more volume now. Back when it was like 0.001, I remember seeing that. I was like, okay, interesting. So like when you look for like certain indicators in a stock, whether it's like a volume increase or if it's touching its 200-day moving average, like what would you say is your favorite technical indicator when it comes to trading penny stocks?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. Say that again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what would you say is your favorite technical indicator when it comes to trading penny stocks, if you use any technicals at all?
Well, I like to look at the monthly. The daily, it tells a different story than the monthly. Like if I'm looking to jump in momentum wise, I want that monthly. I want to see if it's gapped up, if it's come back and it's filled. I want to see if it's bounced, if there's definitely a reversal coming. Like I want to see volume, and if I don't see volume, I want to see the PPS fall. That's what a lot of people don't realize when there's not a lot of volume, and all of a sudden the fucking thing jacks up to, you know, it goes up 60%, and then people are calling it. It's like, dude, they front loaded the shit. Like you have to look, and that's another thing I tell people that ask me for advice, that you have to look at who calls these plays. And I'm not hating at all. Like it, more power to them, whatever they do. I get it. Like if you pump or you dump or whatever you do, but if you got a guy who is a known day trader, and I'm not hating, that is this is a fucking business. You do what you do, bro. But if you see a known day trader call something out and there's no volume and now it's 60% up, and you get in and it runs maybe a day, sell, because it's gonna go down. There's no volume, and that's what I think as far as being technical. That's what I look for is volume. Who's in the stock? Who's calling the stock? What are the catalysts? And what does the monthly chart look like? That's basically it for me on OTC.
Yeah, gotcha. I think that's like a great way to approach stocks. And I think one thing that I was talking with Bill Stocks and Thoughts last week about, but
I love Bill.
Oh, he's great. He's so smart. But I am a victim of sometimes getting in on the rip and instead of selling the rip. And I think that's something that, you know, I just got to work on. But one stock we're all in the Monty group. I love it, and I think the rip is still to come. So I'm just trying to find plays right now to find stocks where they rip, and with CEOs that are like transparent.
Yeah, and I'm very like, and that's something VMNT. And I've been public about it. My whole Roth is in it, 100%. And I sent Neo like a shot because he thought I was kidding. Yeah, yeah. He was like, "Yo, is this guy setting me up? What is he doing?" I was like, "Yo," because I was asking him because that's one dude I have to give a shout out to. He's probably the most quiet and humble dude when there's nothing to say, and one of the smartest dudes. And that's Neo, the stock hacker. If nobody, you definitely follow that fucking guy because he has called out some stuff that other people have taken credit for that has run from 002 or whatever to 98 cents, and then ENZC ran to like 88 cents off that, and VMNT ran from low 18 or 20 when he got it, and it ran to $2.47. And this is one dude that you don't ever hear just constantly, talking shit. But when he does speak and he's pounding the table, I hate that fucking term. Somebody uses it. If he's yelling about it, fucking go follow that. And how he is on VMNT and now with all you guys and Tran and just, I mean, DeFi is the way of the future. I'm very excited. So yeah, you're right. In that group, it's the rip hasn't even dude. I hope GGI runs hard because I want to take another 50 or 100K and put in VMNT before it pops, bro. Before this uplisting to NASDAQ, the white paper comes, because the 10K, I'm excited, man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, same. That's why I want to do GVSI profits. Just move them all over there.
just fucking run them, bro. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I think the cool thing about Vimonte is, I think we have a lot of good traders invested in Vimonte right now. I know you're a good friend. Well, I don't know about good friend, but your friend Jordan Rachel, she recently invested into VMNT. We got Rich X Million in VMNT. We got Neo Stock Hacker. Like a lot of these really good, reputable traders. I know BMO even was one of the original investors of Vimonte, and he still holds shares.
Stocks Pilgrims in it too. He said he's been. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, and Alex Delarge is in VMNT. There's so many good traders in VMNT. Like when you look at VMNT as a company, I mean, it's a low float penny stock with a CEO who hasn't sold a single share since he's been CEO. He meets up with investors. He talks to them. He's got a software developer that we're in a group with. He literally tells us updates on the application that's coming out. I think the transparency that VMNT has had is like any other penny stock I think we've seen in a long time. I mean, maybe a lot of people like to make comparisons to Humble, but I mean, I don't want to hate on Humble, but Humble, I mean, they don't have numbers.
Well, plus you had George Sharp in there, yeah, and he claims a lot of stuff, but I think he does know a lot of people, and I think that helped that out a lot. I don't like the fuck.
And I think also the new. Yeah.
Well,
I think it's also.
Sorry, I just want to actually kind of pivot off that six. So, George Sharp and LTNC, that was a huge source of beef, I feel like. But now it seems like people want to buy the George Sharp reverse mergers. I mean, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm in GVSI and looking to get into RETC and things like that. So I guess what is your opinion when it comes to investing in a Sharp ticker, knowing that he was a huge hater on LTNC. He was one of the biggest bashers on Twitter.
I always keep it real. I fucking don't like George Sharp, and I'd smack that dude if I could see him in public. But it's because I feel like he didn't have the correct facts on LTNC, and he drove a lot of people out who lost a lot of money. A lot of good friends that are good traders. I'm not going to say their names, but they got shook out because of that. Because the guy, and I will give George Sharp his fucking props. He has done some big things, dude. And even with GVSI right now, I've played it twice just because I knew he was the custodian part and going. I was like, it's gonna run because the guy does know people. He does know his shit. But I feel like his ego gets in his way sometimes. In the way I feel like him and Ryan had issues, and he made something personal about business, and I don't feel like you should ever do that. And that was not good to me. So I'm not really happy with that.
So I guess pivoting off of George Sharp plays, when did you get into GGII and why? What was the reasoning behind entering GGII? I know it's paid off, but I'm just wondering how you got into it.
Um, and I didn't get in as early as a lot of people. In fact, SPAC Trader and Training, I think was the first one that I saw. This one of somebody who I respect a lot. And I saw a tweet about it, and I looked at everything, and then looked up Himpaco, and I was like, whoa, what? Is this reverse merger? I was like, this could be huge. That I didn't get in super early. I got in under 1 cent, and it's paid off greatly. But I feel like going back to what we were talking about earlier, not to change, but I mean, that's how my brain works. These CEOs that are transparent, like Tran and Ryan, and now with Jorge. So I feel like this is the new way. These guys that are super transparent, and they have a good company, and they have something big that's going to happen. And I feel like Ryan is a maverick because I think a lot of these people have now seen what he's done. And that transparency, traders fucking buy. And with GGI is I just think it's going to be huge, man. I mean, bottom line, I got in it. I got some good traders I respect that got in it, and I followed suit. And to be honest,
Yeah,
it was not my DD.
Well, I think that's the great part about FinTwit, right? Is the fact that, I mean, I always say there's some tickers on there that I wouldn't even think about researching on my own unless I saw someone on Twitter tweet about it. Then I would do due diligence myself, look into it, and be like, oh, this looks like it could be legit. I think FinTwit is great just because you get so much more exposure to potential plays. If nothing else, it gives you at least ideas. So back to GGII, though. I think it's so interesting because I remember it's probably like a couple weeks ago when the Biden administration said they're considering banning menthol cigarettes, which would be a big bummer, first of all. But second of all, that opens up the door for other companies. And Himpaco seems to be really like filling that void. So I guess when it comes to like this administration, people always talk about EV plays. I guess now it's Himpaco. Are there any like sectors that you're eyeing in the Biden administration that you think could be big winners?
EV for sure. FIII. I know there's, and nobody, please, everything that I'm saying is just my opinion. Okay, do not do anything because of this. I'm deep in FII contracts right now. I have close to 200 contracts for June, $10 calls, which is super close. But they've been working on this merger with Electric Last Mile Solutions, ELMS. First Class C commercial vehicle, delivery vehicle. And they're supposed to, if you read the previous PR that came out earlier, they have vehicles that are going to be coming off the belt apparently by the end of third quarter. And if you think about delivery COVID, era now that we're in, everything's delivery. If you look at FedEx earnings, UPS earnings, you look at Amazon, you look at all these guys, they have done nothing but go up. So to have a commercial vehicle, fleet vehicle, that's going to be for delivery and be produced this year by third quarter, that's pretty fucking big to me, because you have like Neo and Fisker. You have all these guys that have done EV stuff that are just concepts, and their stock is, I mean, it's stupid. So I feel like somebody who actually has a working vehicle for fleet, 2026 fleet sales is going to be close to $1 trillion in the world, which is a big number. So that is the sector that I'm eyeing the most right now is EV.
Sweet.
As far as big board.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think the electrical vehicle sector under Biden is, I mean, everyone's playing off that like it's going to be huge, and I think it is going to be huge. Um, and also, you see a lot of with these tech evaluations now. Everyone thinks that all these tech companies are overvalued, and I think we saw that correction last week with the market dip. I mean, a lot of these companies took huge hits last week, and I think it's a temporary, fear mongering tactic that I don't think it's going to last. But kind of pivoting off of that, Six, do you invest into crypto at all, or are you mostly all OTC options trading at
I
this
invest in
point?
it. I invest in anything that makes money, bro. Um, no, I mean, Dogcoin I thought was a funny name, and I heard it was a joke. So I was like, I'm putting money in that because anything that's a joke, apparently, uh, what happens has happened. Like if it's not supposed to work, it works. I'm one of those people that just I'll throw 2 or 3 or $400 if it's something that might not work or might. My $400 has turned out pretty well. And then I've taken that and Safe Moon. I think I have almost 500 million Safe Moon and 1.3 billion Safe Mars because they're DeFi, which the MNT and I truly believe that's the way of the future. So I've invested in a lot of that. Link, I have a lot of Link. I have no Bitcoin. I have no Ethereum. Other than that, there's these coins like Ask Coin came out last week. It was up like
Yeah.
600%. Like I don't play those, but I have a lot of friends that do, and I just think it's funny right now because it's I believe crypto has a purpose. I don't know where it's going to be. I like DeFi because when it's backed by something, uh, I feel like that'll be worth something later on. But yeah, crypto is cool.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to crypto for me, I always try to think of like the use case. Like, what is the point of actually, what are these coins going to do? So I remember back in high school, me and my friends, we bought fake IDs from some like weird website in China, and we used Bitcoin to buy it. And I remember back in the day, I was like, what the hell is Bitcoin? Um, and it seems like now, like, there's all these coins, like something like you said, Safe Moon or Safe Mars, or even like Link. I guess they have a purpose, but I don't know what they're going to be used for. Like, would you ever use a Safe Moon coin for anything? I don't know. So I guess, my kind of question
Well,
is,
hey, Safe Moon now. I just saw something with Apple Pay.
I saw that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so this shit might be for real. So
oh,
my 500 million might be worth something.
oh dang, and then that's great news. I had no idea. I was like always thinking like, what these coins even for? So
Well, the fact that they get burned and then and I don't look, man, I don't act like I understand everything, man. Like you said, I'm a momentum guy, but I know that what I bought in, I have close to 20 million more because every time somebody buys one, 5%, it goes to you, the reflection. So it's like you want to hold it. And you're getting more, the more people that buy it, you're growing and you're making more money. And then it's burned once you use it, apparently. So, which kind of like, with Vimonti, with VMNT, when we have our stable coin, it makes sense to me. That makes sense. Fucking crypto is just like, it's just a number in space somewhere. And I don't understand that. I'm not gonna lie, man.
it's the wild west of investing. I feel like, totally regulated, but it's fun.
But Elon's behind it with dogs. So I'm with dog boys.
Yo, Six, I also saw a thing. I saw you retweeted this one guy, and he I think it was Saturday night he tweeted. He was like, the worst thing about cryptocurrency is that you can trade 24 hours a day, 24/7. And he's like, when it's 2 a.m. and you've been drinking all night, you start thinking that buying $5,000 worth of Dogecoin at 50 cents is a good idea. And then you wake up the next morning and it's down to 40 cents. So
Yeah.
I think maybe cryptocurrency isn't the best thing to be trading on weekends when you're drinking with your buddies. I don't know what you think about that. But
No, I always believe you should trade responsibly, regardless. But yeah, that 24/7 thing, which
Yeah.
a lot of traders that need the, I mean, I miss when you're young, you want the weekends. Now, when you're a trader, you want Monday. So on the weekends, I think a lot of people supplement and they trade crypto. So yeah, man, you never know a crypto. I don't know how to. I mean, you can look at a chart, but how do you put anything together in your head where it's gonna go? Like I don't. I'm just I'll buy in crypto if it's under 1 cent. If you're in trips, fuck it, I'll throw some money at it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of like what people did the OTC, right? Like a trip zero, like 3 zeros and then one. Eventually, maybe there'll be a reverse merger or something. Who knows? And you make a shitload of money. So I think the same.
Yeah, I mean, if you can buy 1 million shares for $1,000 of anything, I say go for it.
Yeah, right. It's worth rolling the dice on for sure.
Yes. It's worked out on a couple things for us.
Damn straight. All right, so I guess one more thing. We're kind of running out of time here. I want you to get back to your family party and hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
When it comes to your Twitter following, like Luke was saying before, you've really amassed a huge following over the past few months. Colin, whether it's in because you're in these great stocks or because you're just speaking your mind, I guess what would you say has been the biggest factor in just getting all these people to follow you, in your opinion? Like what have you done to really get this influence now in the FinTwit world? You are a FinTwit OTC influencer. I saw your Joe Biden tweet. That was hysterical. The amount of retweets and likes on that. That was awesome.
On which one?
On the Joe Biden video one.
Oh,
that
thing went viral.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. My phone was going crazy. I was like, what is they like? I was like, oh my God. Yeah, no, I feel like and I don't set out to be political. Because whoever you like is up to you. And I'm not gonna try to change your mind. You're definitely not gonna change my mind. And I don't know what I think people on Twitter and I think people in this world likes brutal honesty. The way I talk to you guys is the way I talk to anybody I meet. I'm respectful to women and I try not to cuss in front of older ladies. But fucking shit and whatever I think comes out of my mouth constantly. And I mean, I'm a good-hearted person. I'm a nice guy, I think, for most part, but I'm going to tell you what I think of you, especially if you come across wrong. And I think a lot of people like that. And if you're one of my boys on Twitter or, we deal with each other on a daily basis, I have your back. And if they say something crazy, I'm going to let the person know. And I don't know. I mean, I've called out a lot of people on Twitter. And it's just because I feel like there's a lot of keyboard gangsters out there. And there's just, I don't really know how to explain it, man. I feel like people feed off of the real recognize real and real people want to be around people. Whoever you surround yourself with, that's how you're going to grow. I surrounded myself with some millionaires, some big guys that have traded well. And, I have to say that they have helped me get to where I'm at. And by no means am I a great trader like some of these guys. Stock swing trader, Neo, SPAC, Ripster, like I said, one of my favorites. Those guys, I really started dealing with Matt Riv, and some of these guys that are great at what they do. And, I don't try to put myself in their category. I think that I'm just more vocal, at people. And that's what's grown my, my following, which, I love it, dude. I love that people DM me, and I also answer every DM I get. If I know you or not, if you hit me with a question, I'm going to give you an honest answer. I respond to almost every retweet or, comment. I just feel like people want that interaction, and that's why they're on FinTwit. So I think that's helpful, me grow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Six. And I think that's the reason why Jimmy and I, enjoy following you so much is the 100% transparency. And I think like honestly, that's what we're trying to do with this show. Is we're just trying to show our financial journey, how we're trading, what we're doing, no bullshit. This is how we're trading. This is what we're trading. It might not work. We might lose money sometime. But a lot of these traders on FinTwit and on social media in general, you're only seeing the gains. You're seeing those screenshots of these $100,000 weeks, but you're not seeing the losses that they've had. And in reality, it's all about the risk reward ratio. Like when you're trading OTC, when you're trading crypto, when you're trading options, you're risking a lot of money, you know, for oftentimes speculative plays. And sometimes it's going to hit big, sometimes it's not going to hit big, but you got to know when to cut losses, when to take your profits. Like you were saying with like LTNC, how you were taking your profits along the way, because you never know if these companies are going to work out. But yeah, I think Jimmy and I both really appreciate the transparency that you have on Twitter, and everyone loves your outspoken attitude. It's definitely entertaining for us, and we really appreciate you coming on and talk to us about it.
For sure, man.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, thanks, Six. Really appreciate you coming on the show. Learned a lot, and I think you offer like a good perspective on how to trade, and really just emphasizing doing your own due diligence, yes, but following along with what some of the other like expert traders are on Twitter, and just really getting a full holistic view of a particular ticker, and like deciding when to get in, knowing when to take profits, things like that. So very important.
Just know who's in the ticker, and if they're a day trader. And even GGI, they hit 17. You could ask anybody in my group. I fucking sold every bit of it, and then I bought back in at fucking 13, or 12. It went back up 14, trimmed half of it back down to 10, and now I bought back in. So and I will never act like I'm just holding 100%. And my favorite saying is trim a tree, watch it grow. If not, you're gonna wither away, man. So that's all I.
It's a great quote.
That's great, Six.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on, Six. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Man, I'm humbled. Thank you guys so much, man.
All right. Take care. Enjoy the family and friend party. All right.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Thanks again.
All right. Later, y'all.